So let's take this down.
First buck of the morning. Hey, we're up here in Wyoming. We're hunting with Dennis Hepp, a good friend of ours. We're hunting this Powder River country here in Wyoming. You can see we just got a bunch of breaks and cedars, and we watched this buck feed up and got on the skyline there. It's a pretty nice deer. Not quite what we're looking for, but he's definitely a good prospect. So we got a couple canyons behind us here that we're gonna go check out before the sun gets up too high. It's a pretty good buck. I'm getting excited. We got big buck number 2 over there. This thing is crazy. He's probably 33 inches wide. Crabby 4 on one side, and then on the other side he's just a big 2 with this hook cheater coming out. It's crazy looking. That's what we call a coal deer out here. But I'm about ready to turn my tag into coal deer tag. We need somebody with a tag, so shoot that deer. Hey, we're sitting here glassing. You know, we just glassed that big wide 2-point, that freaky looking buck back there. And Dennis called his brother and said, hey, get up here, we found a buck for you to kill. And that's only 15 minutes ago. And he's already here, and it's a 25-minute drive, so.
25 miles.
Anyway, he must be ready to kill it. We might have to go back there, see if we can't get on it. Well, we got Dennis's little brother, Ethan, up here. Shoot that freaky deer. You know, this morning we seen him, he was across the way. So we're gonna hike up on this hill right behind us and do some glass and see if we can't find him. He's a pretty cool deer. That'll put us about 600 yards. I think if we get too close, we might bump him out of there and not get a shot. So we're gonna get up here and see if we can't see him. Make sure you got your zero stop. There you go. So like we all do, it's either carry a rear bag or something, or just throw that freaking rock on. You know, just make sure you just want to be solid on the back. You pick out a rock over there and dry fire a couple times. That'll kind of get you settled down. You can learn that trigger a little bit. You know, Ethan's got his own long-range gun, but he picked up my rifle and he decided he was going to take it home, put it in his closet. But he wanted to shoot it this afternoon, so we'll let him have a go at it. We got up on this hill. We're looking across to where we'd seen that buck this morning. And we went ahead and got Ethan set up on the gun. Sitting here trying to dope the wind. We've got a little left or right wind blowing. It's not much, 2-3 miles an hour. Dennis is hard on the glass. We're gonna see if we can't pick him out.
Hey, there he is, above the green tree on the left.
That little one?
Yep. You can see the top of his head.
Oh yeah, right up above it. I was looking a little lower. Hey, good spot, man. You on him?
Yes,
Ethan, you got him? All right. All we got to do now is wait till he gets up.
There he's coming up.
Wait till he gets on him.
Oh, he's coming up.
Wait till he gets on him.
Safety. I'm gonna get broadside.
There's one wide deer.
Okay, dial up a few clicks. $625. He's right at 625, man. I'll keep ranging him. 650, 650. There he is. Stick it right behind his shoulder. Nice shot. Nice shot. You dropped him. Good shot, man. Hey, he just took a step right when you shot. It was perfect. Other than that, hey, turn around here, bud. You nailed him. You nailed him. Good job, man. That's a 32-inch wide buck, ain't it?
Yeah.
He's nice and wide. Good shot.
Thanks.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Here, get it on that thing, man. What you think?
That's a really good deer.
Must have hit it early, huh? Bend it over.
Of course it did something.
Sweet. Good shot, bud.
Thanks.
Yeah, like that. Yeah. I should have shot it, I guess. That thing's 34 inches wide, man.
We got another one over the hill over there. We'll go get you in a few.
Good.
The topic of our discussion today is obtaining the best consistency and best accuracy out of our rifle systems. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to emulate some of the techniques and the equipment that competition shooters use at the bench to coax the most out of their rifle systems. Now, we're not trying to shoot our bullets on top of each other like they are. We're looking for that 3/8 minute, that half-minute accuracy potential that a nice hunting firearm has. The problem with obtaining that accuracy is there's a lot of things that are going on in a rifle system. When you pull the trigger, basically you've got the main reaction, the recoil reaction, backwards. You also have a torque reaction, and both of those are in opposition to the bullet's motion. The bullet starts moving down the barrel. You have that equal and opposite reaction of the mass of the rifle coming backwards. The bullet spinning up to several 100,000 RPMs. You've got that reaction of the rifle spinning the opposite direction. Now, what happens when you pull the trigger and that bullet starts moving the barrel and you start getting that torque reaction or that recoil reaction is you have the ability to affect that bullet's exit point in the muzzle. So if you're not consistent in your techniques, or you have a rest system that's not repeatable, then that motion of the barrel and that motion of the rifle coming back is not going to be consistent, and then the exit point of your bullet won't be consistent. Now, there's another thing that's going on here. You've got all that force transmitted through that action barrel combination in the recoil lug, puts it into the stock, puts it into your shoulder. So it's all carried right there at the recoil lug. Now, when you put a lot of force on the recoil lug because it's off axis from the barrel's center line, it puts a bending moment into that recoil lug, and it actually bends the action in the barrel joint. It causes the barrel to have a harmonic vibration. So you can think about this wave form or this wave shape of that barrel, and it'll go back and forth a couple times before the bullet exits the muzzle. Now, the problem is if you've got a rest system that changes the force, changes the force on the recoil pad, changes the force on the recoil lug, that's going to change that harmonic vibration in the barrel. It's going to change your point of impact. So when we're looking for a solution to this problem of getting the most consistency out of here, we're going to look at a twofold approach. One of them is using the right equipment, and the other is using the right techniques to get the most out of our equipment. So for equipment, it's actually very simple. We can start at the basics of just a couple pant legs, cut off, sewn up, filled with sand, stacked up on the bench. If you've got that 2-point support and you've got the ability to get free recoil, then your rest system's going to be pretty good. Now, usually we like a sandbag rest because it's not really hard. It doesn't change, again, those vibrations and those harmonics. A nice sandbag rest in the back is going to give you some ability to get some elevation adjustment, but it's also going to allow us to get steady. So 2 points as far apart as possible allows us to get steady, and then a nice sandbag rest is going to give us the free recoil that we want. This is a rock kit from Caldwell. We're talking like a $50 kit for the rest and the bags. It's got up and down adjustments. It's very easy to use, and you can step down a notch and you can get just the sandbags, or you can step up and get the rock BR. But just some simple equipment like that can get you started being more effective in your shooting and your consistency. Now, when we come back from the break, we're going to take a few minutes and go over just a handful of techniques that we can apply to this type of equipment and this type of shooting setup so that we can get the most consistency and precision out of our kit. Before the break, we talked about the proper shooting equipment to get the best results out of our shooting system. And we're not talking bench rest, we're talking a hunting system that needs to shoot half a minute or better. Now, in this segment, we need to talk about the techniques that we can apply as shooters that'll help us get the most out of our equipment and out of our shooting system. There's 5 things I want you to look at. The first one is body position. In our shooting schools, when we train clients to shoot long range, one of the most common mistakes we see is not being comfortable on the rifle. So I want you to practice getting your stool height set properly and getting your rest and your rear bag set properly so that when you address your gun, you can be solid on the cheek and you can be comfortable on the grip. And if you can do that without having too much pressure onto the bench that's going to cause some heart movement, if you can be comfortable, you got half of the battle won. Now, the second thing we need to look at is grip. Now, grip is the right hand on the stock and the butt stock into your shoulder. And we're going to put about 5 pounds of pressure into our shoulder, not so much that it causes our arm to fatigue, but enough to compress the material of our jackets, enough to be solid in the pocket. We're going to put 5 pounds there, and then we're going to give a relaxed grip with our hand. Our thumb's going to sit on that shelf. We're not going to wrap our thumb around and try to control it. We're going to relax it. We're also going to address our trigger finger on the trigger properly, right on the pad of our finger. If I'm grabbing too high, my finger's a little long, I'm just going to relax. And with this grip design right here, relaxing that grip accommodates different shooters' hands, and it also allows me to adjust to where it's perfectly comfortable for myself. So I've got my grip addressed. The next thing we need to talk about is breathing. When you execute a long-range shot, you need to find that part of your respiratory operation that gives you the longest chance to shoot. We might be able to get 3 to 5 seconds from the time you say go to the time you need to break your shot. And we call that the natural respiratory pause. It's about 2/3 of an exhale. Oxygenate your lungs a couple breaths before, and then get in there, and you're going to exhale to that 2/3 spot. That's going to give you the longest period where you can get a shot off before your body reacts. You start to lose focus, your heart rate comes up, etc. So find that natural respiratory pause. Now, the next thing we need to address is trigger control. Now, that's just the basic function of lining up the sights while we press or squeeze the trigger and execute our shot. Now, if the sights are in alignment when the trigger breaks, the theory is that we're going to hit our target. Now, if we're not completely steady and the sights aren't quite lined up, or they're on and off the target, we're going to increase the pressure while the sights are lined up. We're going to stop increasing the pressure, not decrease, but stop increasing when the sights come off the target. So that's very simple trigger control in a nutshell. Now, the last one is probably one of the most important that I would like guys to pay attention to when they're at the range, and that's following through on the shot. Now, if I do a dry fire here, I'm going to show you when the trigger breaks, rather than get in here and come up and just bounce on the trigger like that, I want to increase the pressure slowly, and then I'm going to hold the trigger down for 2 seconds before I relax. Now while I'm doing that, I'm also anchored on the stock. So following through, anchors on the stock, and then relax. I'm visualizing the bullet impacting the target, and at the 800-900 yard ranges, I'm going to see it hit with this gun. I'm going to return to battery, and I'm going to see that bullet hit. This is going to keep me from flinching, and it's going to help me keep my eyes open. And if you do that follow-through technique, maybe practice it while you're dry firing, and you'll accomplish that muscle memory so that you can do it when you're really pulling the trigger on a live round. So 5 techniques. If you apply those using good equipment, you're going to shoot to your rifle's potential. Now, if your rifle's not shooting that half-inch group, it's an ammunition or a rifle or maybe a scope problem, maybe it's time for an upgrade. That's a whole different story. But if you'll practice those techniques, you'll be shooting good in the field.
We're back on this knob this morning, at it again. This is a knob we left last night. We're pretty sure we just found the deer that Dennis had been watching a few days ago. He's just over this knob with the green cedars on him. All we can see now is his back end. We're gonna have to let him feed out in the open again or reposition, see if we can get a better look at him. About 600 yards, pretty nice. Well, we dumped down in this little cut right here. We're just gonna circle around on that buck. The wind's just really picking up, blowing right to him. We're gonna get back up, circle around, get at him from the other side, see if we can't get a shot. I think we got that buck again. We circled around, we got him right over here, walking down this hill. Let's get up here and get ready. He's pointed kind of quartering to us, which I think pretty confident in the shot, but I think we're gonna wait just for a little bit, see if he'll turn sideways, a little more broadside, get a little better shot presentation. We got about a 3 to 4 mile an hour crosswind, about a minute of angle's worth. Looks like a pretty good deer. What you got, Dan?
602 yards. Dead on the spot.
Oh man, what a waiting game on that bugger, huh?
And then some.
Boy, he just wouldn't give us a shot. We were scared he was going to get down into that bottom, and he finally quartered just enough to put one in him. But gave it 1 minute of angle, which is only about 6 inches right there, just enough to put it right in that shoulder though. So deer down, huh, buddy?
He went down and then some.
Sweet. Well, that's the buck we were after. That's the buck we came here to hunt. So that was pretty cool. Let's get over there and get on him. It's pretty sweet. Yeah, I don't think you can start a day off any better than killing a big mule deer.
No.
I mean, the sun just barely popped over the hill, and we got a buck down on the hill over there. So we're gonna make the trek back to the truck, drive around, get on him. Woo, doggy! Look at that. There's some mass on that thing.
That's a man.
Hot dog, man. Sweet. Where'd you get it? Oh, yeah.
Perfect
Right
shoulder
shoulder.
shot.
Sweet. Boy, he does have some mass on him, don't he?
Yeah.
Good deer, man. Look at that.
That's wrong. He's gonna go better than 185.
This is what we came after right here. You see this? And this? Barely get my hand around it. I mean, that's some mass right there, man. That's good luck. He's a little better than we thought. When the guide said he's a little better than we thought, you know you know you should have a grin on your face. So, made a good shot on him, and he's right down here where he's not going to be that much of a haul to the pickup. So it's gonna be good. Just get him out of here. What you think, man?
Big deer.
Yeah. Good. A little better than we thought, huh?
Hunting apparel for long-range pursuit provided by Sitka and Kinatrek Boots of Montana. License applications made through Cabela's Tags. Brought to you by Gunwerks, G7 Optics, Night Force, Hornady, and Caldwell Shooting Supplies.